going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. With me, who's dressed as a French spoken word beat poet, because why not? Today we're talking about updates regarding the Blues. Funny that. Trevoh Chalobah had loads of opportunities to go, wanted to go, wasn't allowed to go, and N'Golo Kante's situation not resolved. A cut price for Jude Bellingham, maybe £50 million cheaper than a stated price. Also, Chelsea are continuing to lose their mind, paying tens of millions on young teenagers, the Fulham wonder kid that Chelsea are looking to buy. We'll talk about that as well. Lots to get into, settle in, get comfortable. Thank you for dropping a like on the video. It really does mean a lot. I see your support and I appreciate it. You are welcome to subscribe, and should you choose to do that, hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Yeah. Alright then, let's get into it. You know what, let's start off with this story with Leandro Trossard, of course a exciting player who plays for Brighton and Belgium. Of course, he advanced well playing under former coach Graham Potter, now Chelsea coach Leandro Trossard, and he's been linked to Chelsea because why not? Everyone gets linked to Chelsea at the best of times. Now with the new ownership, we seem to be buying everyone anyway, and of course with a new manager, more people get linked. And with international break, players talk about moves, and Leandro Trossard has done just this, and he reacted to stories linking him with a move to Chelsea. He said the following: "Our coach did leave for Chelsea, but now the speculations about me following him make no sense. But if the opportunity arises, I want to go." But I want to play and not sit on the bench. I love that. He's saying, yeah, of course, our coach went there, and now they're saying I want to go there. It makes no sense. What are these speculations? I mean, I want to go. If it happens, yes, please. I love Brian. I don't want to leave, but like, if I can, I absolutely will. Which is pretty lols. Of course, Leandro Trossard, a very talented and exciting player. Would you want him? Possibly. I'm pretty agnostic now when it comes to attackers. I have no idea what's good anymore. I was so excited when we got Timo Werner. I was mega excited about Kai Havertz. I was super excited about Romelu Lukaku. My perception of what's good has been mutilated, and I just don't know what's happening anymore in the world of football. You know, maybe Leandro Trossard is the answer. Who knows? Comment down below. What do you think about that, mate? Let's move on and talk about more crazy, sensational transfer stories. So next up, we're going to be talking about Luke Harris, the young Fulham wonder kid that Chelsea are reportedly prepared to pay 30 million whoppers for. Indeed, this sounds chicken oriental and follows suit of this ethos and project and plan that Boehly and Clearlake have of buying a sort of next-gen super team. Of course, this would follow the likes of Carney Chukwuemeka and Cesare Casadei that we bought from Inter and Aston Villa's academies respectively, but paid an insane amount of money for both. Now granted, Carney Chukwuemeka is reportedly really impressing Graham Potter on the training pitch. He scored 2 goals in that behind the scenes game the other day. Behind the scenes? You know what I mean. He's been impressing, and maybe he comes into the first team, and ultimately then Carney will look like an absolute steal if he's playing first team football as a teenager. But we're looking at this kid Luke Harris as well from the Fulham Academy. I'm going to jump into an article from the Metro now to give you some insight of what the heck is going on. Chelsea are ready to pay £30 million for Fulham's teenage wonder kid Luke Harris, according to reports. The 17-year-old forward was called up to the Wales first team for the first time this month for the Nations League fixtures against Belgium and Poland. Harris, who has captained Wales under-17s and has also previously been called up to the under-21 side, was an unused substitute against Belgium. According to the Mirror, the Blues have, quote, advanced discussions with Fulham over signing Harris this January, with a deal worth £25 million plus an additional £5 million in add-ons, which is also on the cards. Harris made his first senior appearance for Fulham against Crawley Town in the Carabao Cup last month, and the club are well aware of his potential, with the teenager only recently signing a new contract till 2025. Of course, young teenager impressing for Marco Silva's side, only just got his debut for the first team against Crawley Town in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea come along, want £30 million, mate. I hope Chelsea know what they're doing, man, because because this is just... But what are we doing? What are we doing? Do we need him? Like, what happened to, like, Soon-Sup Bell? And, of course, Armando Broja's young, and what's happening? So much money spent. Look, I know this new Chelsea model has a really potent, data-driven, algorithmic stance behind it, and maybe this is the answer. But I feel like there's spending gung-ho all over the gaff, and then there's what Chelsea is doing at the moment. Look, new players, exciting content for me as a content creator, so fine, but wild. Again, let me know what you think. I'm not going to pretend to have ever watched this kid. If you might be Welsh, or you might have just seen him before, let me know what you think down in the comments below as we move on to our next story. And that is regarding big Trevoh Chalobah, reported by Fabrizio Romano on his YouTube channel, as well as tweeting out some information on the young English defender. Now, apparently Trevoh Chalobah actually really did want to go in the summer, although he did said on the live stream that he's staying at Chelsea. He probably knew at that point that he was staying at Chelsea, but the player himself, so say Fabrizio Romano, really wanted to go out on loan. He knew Chelsea was chasing Wesley Fofana, and he knew he'd played well in the Chelsea first team at times and wanted to play football. He's early 20s, he's sort of in the sweet spot for development, and he wanted to go and play on loan, and he had loads of great loan opportunities. Both Milan clubs, AC Milan and Inter, who have won the last 2 Scudettos, so they're at their, in their pomp in terms of how good they are. And RB Leipzig as well, who of course Chelsea were in talks with for the selling back Timo Werner. So these are 3 high-profile Champions League clubs, all wanting to loan Trevoh Chalobah, and the player himself wanting to go on loan and, demonstrate his ability. But because Chelsea wrapped up Wesley Fofana quite late and they weren't sure what's going on there, they decided to keep Trevoh Chalobah because of course he can play on that right hand side. That's where Wesley Fofana will generally play. So they didn't take risks, and of course they probably think he's a good asset, he shouldn't depreciate value too much if we keep him, etc, etc. But you can understand well, the player himself, Trevoh Chalobah, is going to feel disappointed. And he's good, man. Like, none of us thinks he's a bad player at all. He started really, really well. Of course, he can play in central defensive midfield, but he's not like a regista like Jorginho when he does. He's very much a transitional CDM, like he played when he was on loan in Ligue 1. He can sort of stop transitions and kind of play as a centre-back, but in the defensive midfield, Either way, he's a great player, and you can understand why the lad will feel frustrated that he didn't get this move. So sympathies to Trevoh Chalobah. I genuinely do hope he gets plenty of opportunity, even if he's not a starter, because you can understand why Wes Fofana, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, these guys will probably start, but hopefully he gets minutes, because it does seem like we're going to play a back 3, but also it does feel like Graham Potter is going to put Marc Cucurella as a left centre-back. Lots of competition there, man. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let's discuss that with the football family, the football therapy family, and share opinions in the comment section as we move on and talk about Jude Bellingham. Ooh. Now, of course, England international, but I don't want to talk about England because they are quite, frankly, profoundly crap at the moment, and I do blame the manager, but I'm not here to talk about England. I'm here to talk about a sensational talent in Jude Bellingham. Of course, young Bellingdor was a sensation at Birmingham. Lots of clubs tried to buy him. Dortmund got him, and he's become a sort of the star of that team, especially since Erling Haaland and, of course, Jadon Sancho have left, and he's sort of wise beyond his years. He's a bit of a sort of classic box-to-box central midfielder who can do it all, and loads of clubs are looking at him, and it was quoted that he would cost a serious amount of money, like £130 million. Too much, if you ask me, even for a sensational talent, but if the cash is paid up front, apparently 50 million big ones could be cut off that, and we're going to jump into an article now, published on some crap rag called The Sun. Let's dive into it and see what it's saying. Jude Bellingham could leave Borussia Dortmund for just £83 million next summer if the entire fee is paid up front, and Manchester City are convinced they will win what is sure to be a battle of the big guns to bring him to England. Liverpool have long established interest in the Three Lions midfielder and believed they were favourites. Chelsea are also big fans, while Man United would love him at Old Trafford, but they know they need a top finish to have any hope. There are suggestions Dortmund want over £130 million for the teenager, yet sources claim the true price could be nearly £50 million less as long as it's paid in one go. City are certainly best placed to do that, as well as offering the best chance of silverware and the opportunity to link up with his old Dortmund teammate Erling Haaland. Bellingham, who's still only just 19, is big pals of Haaland, and the Norwegian has told him how much he's enjoying life at the new club. When City signed Calvin Phillips in the summer, there was a feeling his arrival would mean they wouldn't be in the running for the England youngster. Look, man, let's just stop there. Look at Calvin Phillips, Jude. Look at him. He's signed for Man City, and he's nowhere to be seen. I think he might be injured, but come on, he's not going to play over Rodri. He has to play that CDM. He's not going to play as one of the sort of eights. You know, like a player like Gundogan. Gundogan can play CDM, or as he can play as an 8. He even plays as sort of a Frank Lampard, sort of number 10 goal scorer sometimes. But they bought Calvin Phillips to play as a CDM, and he won't get anywhere near as much minutes. I don't know, man. Jude Bellingham, of course, he's not going to play as a CDM, and I mean, he could be closer to Gundogan, but I think he should come to Chelsea, and I'll tell you why. Because if we play the double 6, or indeed a midfield with 8, he would play as one of those 8s or a double 6. He won't play as a sitting player like perhaps Rodri does at Man City, or perhaps Fabinho does at Liverpool, although granted, if he goes to Liverpool, he'd probably play as one of the more attacking midfielders. But at Man City, they've got so ruddy many of them. De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva to start. You've got to move one of those out of the starting lineup. Good luck, big man. Come to Chelsea. We're struggling. We've got Jorginho and Kante, who are both aging and probably will leave the club, and you could be our future. And you match the age profile of the next-gen superstars. Remember? We're signing Luke Harris from Fulham. Come on, don't you want to ball out with that guy? I don't know who he is either. What about Carney, Chukwuemeka, Cesare, all these kids? Look, I would love it, and I think I deserve, in the words of Cristiano Ronaldo. Genuinely, I do love Jude Bellingham. I think he's one of England's superstars. I would love him at Chelsea. And I think, yeah, playing as maybe like an 8 or more of the sort of offensive roaming double 6. Like, you know, Kante runs around. Bellingham runs around as well. He can be offensive. He can be defensive. I would love it. And if you buy Jude Bellingham for 80 million, I know we're in a silly world of football where everything costs way too much. I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't, 80 million for Jude Bellingham. Jack Grealish costs 100 million, and he's like, 8 years older than him. You get Jude forever. It's a really, really young, great investment. Sounds good to me. What do you think, though? I'm going to put it out to you guys. Tell me what you think about Jude Bellingham. And in fact, everyone that I've spoken about in the video today. Share your thoughts down with the friends below in the comment section, and thank you for dropping a like on the video and subscribing if you're new. Sorry I had a day off yesterday, but I was hungover. I'm back every day now, and I look forward to seeing you daily. So enjoy the football, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.